Hello, my friends. Yay, we're back for part 3 of Lilies and Pearls. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to finish this up in one video, but I've been known to be wrong a time or two, so if it goes way long, then I might split it up into 2 more parts. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But today we're going to do her hair. And I thought that a nice, pretty rich brown would look very nice with the colors of the flowers that we are doing. So that's what we're going to do. And it's a pretty easy color combo that we're doing. It's just beige, light umber, and espresso. And I have my sharpener, I have my pencils, so I think I'm ready to go. This is a pretty close-up thingy, but I wonder if you guys want just a little bit more. How's that? That looks good. Okay, so we're going to start with beige, and we're just going to put that in the areas where the light would hit. So we've got the light pretty much coming from, I would say, this direction. So Christina's already kind of left some areas of the hair that are quite light. So that's pretty much where we're going to put our lightest color. And I think that I might just go ahead and put all the beige highlights in to start with. It is so hot outside today. I think we're getting up to 110 today. Now, granted, it's very low humidity, but it's still dang hot. So I treat summers kind of the way people in cold climates treat winter. I only go out when I absolutely have to. Okay, I think that will do us for the time being. We can always add more. So now I'm going to take my light umber. Got to admit, I'm kind of excited to see what she's going to look like after her hair is done. I find hair a lot of fun to do. I don't know why. I guess it's satisfying. And you can get it done in a pretty quick amount of time usually. Caught that one early. I'm going to throw some more of that beige down. Back to beige. Put a little bit more here. Oh, I missed a spot. Okay, a little bit more. Just right there. For now, light umber. Okay, now my favorite brown, espresso. This is where she goes from a very light brown to a true brunette. I want to see what that's going to look like. So we bring out the magic blender. I'm gonna probably, we'll definitely want to put the black, some black in here too when we're all finished. Okay, blender. Now you could do this whole thing and then break out the blender, but I like to kind of see where things are going and watch the progress, so I kind of rather work in these sections. Okay, I think after we add the black, that'll be good. Excuse me, Christine kind of put this highlight at the top of the braid, and normally I think if I was doing this and it didn't have that built in, I probably wouldn't use it. I would probably just go ahead and do the dark all the way around the edge at the top. But since I'm going to be doing a dark background, I am going to take advantage of that little highlight to help break up the dark hair and the dark background. So that worked out very, very nicely. careful of those pearls. I have to try and remember not to forget about those because we still haven't treated those properly yet. And I may want to do something extra down on those. So don't let me forget. So I've just become completely obsessed with the pan pastels that we used for her skin. I can't stop using them. I'm neglecting my chores. I'm neglecting my work. I am neglecting myself. And all I want to do is sit at my desk and practice and play with my pan pastels. It's ridiculous. But anytime I get a new toy, that's a euphemism for art supply, I cannot help but become obsessed and play with it if I like it. If I don't like it, well, then that's just a bummer. But if I like it, I kind of go crazy and can't stop practicing and playing with it. But yeah, I'm afraid this is going to be a costly product, because of course for me colors are like, I don't know, potato chips or something. I can't just have a couple. I have to have all of them. And even though they are great for blending, you really can make your own colors. I'm a lazy artist, and I like to have all of my colors right there in front of me to choose from and use. Okay. I'm not going to swear to it, but I think we're going to take a break from portraits for the next coloring series. Again, I feel weird calling them tutorials, but for the next set of videos, I think we're going to do something that's not a portrait. And it's a brand new image, but I'm not going to tell you who it is because I might change my mind and chicken out because it looks really hard. But it also looks really fun. So we'll see. But I thought so far everything I've done has been a portrait. So maybe it's time to break out and do something else. Okay, and now my favorite black, which I think I said before in a previous video, you can now get on Etsy if you just search for Schpirerr Farben, or you can follow the link because I've been putting a link to it in the description box down below because I just love it that much. We might as well put the shadow in for the pearls. I'm not sure how I'm going to blend out that top. I don't want it to be, you know, white. I just want it to be lighter than, so probably just like this. think that'll be just fine. I went through last night through my channel and I put my videos into playlists. So each series now has a playlist, and I'm putting all of the hair coloring videos from each series into one playlist called Coloring Hair, and all of the skin coloring videos from each series into a playlist called Coloring Skin. So I'm hoping that that makes it easier for people to navigate and find what they're looking for. I have noticed when you look at the number of people that have watched a video, I am noticing that the skin, hair, and background videos get the most views, and the ones that are coloring all the extra stuff get the least views. So to me, that tells me people are looking for, you know, specific how to color hair, how to color skin. So I thought maybe putting them in a playlist might make things easy. All right. Hair is pretty much done, I think. Maybe a little bit more shading right here. Okay, it's not quite as dark as I had originally envisioned. However, I do think that I'm going to leave it because when we do the dark background, I still want that hair to show and not just blend in. So I think we're going to leave the hair like that for now. And before I forget, I think I'm going to go ahead and do what we did on the pearls down here, and that was basically just really all I did was circle them. And then at least that way I won't forget. I have some things I think I want to try with them, but it depends on how long the video goes, so. Am I using the wrong color? I think I'm using the wrong color. I'm using cream, and I think I was supposed to be using eggshell. So use eggshell, don't use cream. Don't mess up like I did. It just didn't look as deep as the other ones did, and it finally dawned on me why. All right. Okay, I think we're ready to start the background. So let's see, let's go back to regular zoom. And I need to go get my mineral spirits and get something to drink. And I will be right back. Okay, I am back. A little chocolate fix, a little water fix, and we are good to go. Okay, so we are going to do a black background, and I'm going to do it in sections. So I'm going to put the black in. We're going to go ahead and use the mineral spirits to blend it and do what we're going to do with it, and then we'll move on to the next section. And I have no particular reason why, other than that's just how I like to do it. I just tend to like to work in sections, so that's what we're going to do. So this is just Prismacolor black. I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like. I think it'll be really pretty. I hope so. So we are not putting down as many layers of pencil as I've done in the past, as far as, you know, several layers and then blending with the mineral spirits. So an even layer of the black is going to look the best, if you can. Even though the, you know, the mineral spirit spreads it all around, I just feel like if you can get an even layer, it looks better. I'm getting nervous. There's really no reason to be nervous. But anytime I get extra nervous or stressed about something, the old, not to give away my age or anything, but the old hot flashes really start hitting me. And I start to get really warm. Do you guys want me to zoom in? I don't think you need it zoomed for this, but because this part's kind of boring. It's just filling in. Maybe that's why I like to work in sections. It breaks up the monotony of this kind of coloring. Okay, I need a hair clip. Bear with me. I don't have a hair clip with me, and I'm trying to use other things. And oh, look, a piece of ribbon. That'll work. Okay, much better. Let's see, let's get up here. It'll be interesting to see if I can get into these tiny little spaces with the mineral spirits without messing up. Okay, keep going. I almost feel like this would be a good spot to just, you know, speed up the video and double time it. But I guess you guys can do that yourself if you want to. Getting there. think what I'm going to want to do after I go over this with the mineral spirits is go over it again in some areas with my Schpirerr Farben black, because it's such a warm black. So we'll see what this looks like when it's time. Oops. Okay. So my mineral spirits are just here in a little glass jar. And I have a little brush. I'm gonna try and keep it in view so you can see. And all I'm doing is spreading the pigment around with the brush. The mineral spirits are breaking down the wax and letting me maneuver that pigment. So it's kind of like when you're doing this, it's kind of like you're painting with the color pencil. Am I still in? No, see, that's the problem with Zoom, man. You got such a small window. Such a small window to stay in. I'm going to come in with a paper towel and spread around and soak up whatever is not really adhered well to the paper. And once you put this mineral spirits on the page, even after you wipe it off, the pencils that you put on top of it go on so much more smoothly than they would have without the mineral spirits being on the page. But you can see the difference in how it looks before mineral spirits and after. It really smooths it out and fills in the tooth of the paper. Okay, I'm going to take a paper towel like that, and I'm just going to come in and just wipe off kind of the extra. And I'm doing that because I don't want it smearing and spreading around in areas that I don't really want it to be. So it's just a little extra precaution, I guess. All right, now if we take our Schpirerr Farben black and at least go over the areas that are tight up against her. I think that will make me happy. I want to try some bokeh lights. So I don't think I want to cover the whole thing with the black, with the extra black, I should say. I'm just kind of putting it close to where the other design is, so that I'm kind of defining things a little bit more, I guess you could say. Just deepening that color a little bit. I'm not sure how necessary this is. I may come back and do some more later, but I think for now we'll call that good. Almost. Okay, let's keep going. I think I'm going to do this top and work this way so my hand, well, you can't see what I'm talking about. I think I'm going to do up here first and work this way and then down so that my hand is not smearing over black on the paper. All right. I'm feeling good about this now. I'm not sweating anymore. Well, I got carried away there. Wasn't thinking, wasn't watching what I was doing, and got a little bit close into the hair. I think it'll be okay though. This would be a good time for me to eat chocolate while I'm not talking. Except now I'm really embarrassed because I'm sure you can hear me chewing. If you turn your pencil fairly frequently, it will help keep a sharper end on the pencil, and you won't have to sharpen as often, which will help hopefully preserve some of your pencil. Oh, this reminds me, I have something I want to show you guys. I saw somebody posting about these about the need for this. I know, I'm going off on a tangent, right? I'm sorry. But what made me think of it was, as I'm sitting here and I'm coloring, I'm thinking to myself, you know, wow, my fingers are tired, or, you know, that pressure on my hand is digging into my finger, which right now at the moment is a little bit numb. So I want to show you these things because if you don't know about them, you're going to love me. So these are little finger sleeves, and they go on your finger and your thumb. The blue ones fit fingers and the black ones fit thumbs. And while you're coloring, the pencil is resting on the soft, squishy thing and also where you hold it with your thumb. They're awesome. I don't use them as much as I used to. When I first started coloring, I had numb fingers even when I wasn't working. And I ordered these, and they come in like a set of 10 pairs, I think. And oh my goodness, what a difference did those make. And even right now, as I'm wearing them after doing all of this, you know, big time, you know, long coloring, my fingers are going, oh, that's so much better. So perhaps you will like them. It's always good to find little things that make our hobby more pleasurable. I'll put a link for these in the description box below in case you are curious. Okay, I think we are almost at a point where we're going to go ahead and break out the mineral spirits again. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start at the top. Maybe zoom out a little bit on this so that I can keep you in frame. I kind of like how doing that has pushed the color right up against the green border. It looks nice like that. I think because I only did one layer of color before I put the mineral spirits on, I'm not getting as much color up on the paper towel as I would if I, you know, had done multiple layers of pencil before. So that's a good thing. Okay. One more section. And I was so comfortable with my little finger thingies, I'm going to put them back on again. Alrighty. Her eyelash might just disappear in our black background here. I'm not sure how to prevent that. It's not a big deal, it's a tiny little detail. going over some of this again because I'm seeing that I'm creating these lines, and I want to kind of blur those out a little bit. I wasn't working enough in a circular motion, and so I was getting an overlap. My mind wanders when I color like this, and I forget what I'm doing. This is the part of doing backgrounds that I don't like, but it's so pretty when it's finished that it's worth it. And if your paper is on the thinner side and you don't have the ability to do like a watercolor or a Neocolor tube kind of background, this method is great because it does not distort the paper. And so you can get a really nice, smooth background without too much thought. We're almost done. Okay, mineral spirits. These are odorless mineral spirits, and you do not have to spend the money to get Gamsol or Zest It, because literally it is the same thing as the odorless mineral spirits that you get at the hardware store. I have both. I've tried them both on the same page and they work exactly the same. So save your money and buy some pan pastels and just get your mineral spirits from the hardware store. But make sure you get the odorless kind. Be really delicate around her face. I do not want to make a mistake and mess that up. I just realized we need to darken her nostril. I didn't do that on the last video. Okay, I'm going to try and push the pigment away from her face so that when I go to wipe, I don't accidentally wipe it into her face. That would be a bummer. Okay, I have no idea how I got that thing turned completely upside down like that. I'm just barely dipping the tip of the brush into the mineral spirits if I feel like it's not moving the pigment around well enough. It doesn't need to be a saturated brush. In fact, you really don't want it to be a saturated brush. Okay. I can see some areas where I'm definitely going to want to add some more black. And the Schpirerr Farben black, you know, it kind of has that brown tint, that brownish warm black, so I think it'll look really nice. Yeah. And you probably don't even have to cover the whole thing. One nice way to use it, though, is to really get in there and get those lines defined so that the flowers really stick out and have a nice smooth a nice smooth line around the flower. All right, I want to do I think I want to do some lights, some bokeh lights, but I'm not sure now. Although it would break up the black background and make it a little bit more interesting. I better make up my mind because I don't want to put this black on here before if I decide to put the white lights on. So let's try it, and we can always maybe break out the eraser and let's see, we need to be regular 1. There we go. See how my camera, it jumps between zooming in and zooming out. All right, so I'm just gonna go for it, and if I hate it, then I will do my best to undo the damage. But I'm gonna just take my white pencil and in a swirl, I think I'm gonna like it. And I think I want, let's see what happens if I put some eggshell on top of that. Not much. Not much. All right, so white it'll be. So randomly, in random sized circles, gonna put our little don't think this white would show up as nicely if we hadn't used the mineral spirits to basically remove the wax from the background. It's still there, but it's much less. So now the paper can, or the white pencil can really grab. Am I still in screen? Yes. I might come in with the black afterwards and darken the areas around where we put the bokeh lights. Bokeh, I think. Okay, I think that's enough. Now what I want to try is, this is my white Posca pen, and it's the 0.7 millimeter. I have them in lots of different sizes because they're awesome for things like this. So I'm going to put a white dot right in the center of that, and then I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to swirl it so it blurs and softens the edge, but it still gives a more concentrated white dot, which is what you would have, I believe, if these were little twinkly lights, little twinkly whatevers. There would be a source for the light shine, and then it would blur out as and if you mess it up, like, I mean, it's not really messed up, but if you mess it up like it's not a nice circle there anymore, you could just come in with your pencil and round it out. And then I might even do it again, but just tap it so that there's 3 different levels of brightness. A pinpoint white, a blurred white, and an even more blurred white, if that makes any sense. So there's that. And I'm just swirling it with my finger, maybe a little bit more. I like it. Oh, I forgot I was in super zoom, you guys. I'm so sorry. Jeez Louise. Okay, so that's what we've been doing. Gosh. All right, so I think I'm gonna give this one a slightly bigger center. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my Schpirerr Farben Black, and I'm just gonna fine tune a little bit. I'll probably I might just turn the video off for this part, because really all I'm doing is it's just kind of going over an area that I feel like is just way too light. And I just feel like you'd be bored and you don't need to see this. I'm not doing anything, you know, wonderful. So I'm going to turn the camera off, just kind of go through and add a little bit more black, fine tune what I have on here, just a teensy little bit. Nothing that, I mean, literally all I'm doing is darkening some spots that I feel like are just still too light. And then when I get back, we'll keep going. Okay, I am back. So maybe you can see that I messed around with the lighting a little bit while I was away, because I was noticing that on the camera, the page looked a lot more washed out than it really is. And that bummed me out. So I'm really going to keep on trying to figure out how the best lighting is going to be so that you can really see what things look like. It's a little dark for me as I'm sitting here, but on screen, she looks a lot more like what she really looks like in person. So we're going to go with that for the rest of the video. We don't have that much more left to do. So that is what we're going to do. So I'm just going to take my black pencil and do her nostril, because we forgot to do that. Just a little bit darker there. And I want to try something with the pearls. So I'm going to take my Espresso, and I'm just going to, let's see if I can zoom in. I'm just going to add some of this Espresso just kind of over the top of the gray that she's already got here. And that's just because I don't know, I just felt like I wanted it to be browner. Sometimes things are just an experiment, and I don't even know if it's going to look any better. Not that it looks bad. The page is so warm, I kind of felt like the gray on the pearls was too gray. I don't know. I guess you don't know if you like something until you try it, so I'm trying it. This video is probably going to turn out to be a 3-hour video the way I'm going. It's just something about it I like better, so I'm going to do that. Oh. And her head. Okay, that probably wasn't necessary, but... And I believe that I've decided to use my mahogany red on her little tattooy things. I'm going to call them tattoos. And I haven't decided if I want to do it there or not. You can barely see the lines there. So I think I'm going to not do it over here. I don't know why. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Spanish orange. And then I think I want to outline them. So with a really sharp pencil. I like that. Okay, did I leave anything out? I'm gonna zoom out and just take my gum eraser. Is that right? No, kneaded eraser. I did that on the last video. My kneaded eraser. And just clean it up a little bit. Oh, you know what? There's 3 circles right here that I need to do something with. So, do we go green? Do we go mahogany red? Like right here. I kind of think we should do green because we have green around the border. Speaking of which, it looks like I got a little bit too much black right there, so I'm gonna just try and lighten it up a little bit. and fix this line. Yeah, I could sit here and pick at it and fine tune it forever. Yeah, I think she's done. Okay, what are we gonna do there? Green? I think green. So in the last video, I think we used Kelly green. And then lime peel. And we're going to outline that too. Well, that was poorly done. And part of me feels like I want to put a black outline around the green outline, but I can't decide. Probably not necessary. All right. I think we're done. I'm always kind of bummed at the end of a project, but not bummed either. Happy too. So, yeah. All righty. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so you can maybe see the whole page. There she is. Lilies and Pearls by Karron. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And yeah, so we're done. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure. I love every minute of it. And take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for all the comments and love and support. And I will see you guys on the next video. Bye. Alrighty, guys. I have changed my mind, and in looking at the picture, I've decided that the black background for me is just not black enough. Now, that's either because I only did one layer of black pencil. If I had done 2 layers and blended it, it probably would have been black enough. So that would be one thing that you could do if you feel like you want it to be blacker. But I am going to try something, and I tried it in a little teeny tiny section, and so far it's working. It might be a little bit difficult to work around, and I've already taken a picture of the photo as is, so that if I completely destroy it, at least I have a picture of it from the way that it was. But I'm going to take one of the other sets of pan pastels that I bought, was the what do they call it? They called it the medium set or something like that. And it basically comes with fine glittery black, a fine and a coarse white pearl, and a colorless blender. And I'm going to take this black pan pastel, and I'm going to try and add it to the background without destroying what I've done already, because I really want the background to be blacker. And you can see how much darker it is here after I've applied some of this pan pastel. So I'm using the one that has the coarser black, I don't know, maybe I should try the one that has the finer black. I don't think it'll make much difference. And this little tool that I have, it's not one of their tools. It's one of the Tim Holtz Distress tools, but I am just going to use this one because I feel like I can get in there a little bit better. So I'm crossing my fingers. And I'm just going to come in here and swirl this darker. Now, I tried it on another page, my practice page, and if I go over these white circles, it's going to just cover them right up. It covers them completely right up. So I could do that, but I'm going to try and not do that. If I have to, I will. I can always go over them again, you know. So, yeah. It just wasn't dark enough for me, and so these are going to stick right to that colored pencil just fine. Plain black would probably, if you have plain black pan pastels, would probably work great. This is just what I happen to have. I think when I do the little editing where I tell you what pencils I'm using in the video, I might recommend 2 coats of black. And there's going to be some areas here where I'm not going to be able to get in. Well, so we might have to redo some of the and it's putting a little bit of a sparkle on the page. So I would imagine that if I wanted to, I could spray it and have that little bit of sparkle, which could be fun. You know, you don't know if you're going to like something until you try it, so. But it's definitely blacker. You'll be able to see, I think, a difference just in the lighting. It's like it's covering up the wax, so it's not as shiny. So now it's a lot more black. Okay, yeah, it really sticks to the wax pencil. All right, on now, I'm going to take my white pencil again. And redefine some of those lines that or some of those circles that I lost. Fix. Might even add in a few more. I don't want to put my hands across the fresh pan pastel, so I'm going to turn the page around. Alrighty. I like that better. Okay, well, thankfully that experiment was a success. So I left my big light on. I'm going to turn the big light off. Oddly enough, it shows better what the picture actually looks like with the light off. But there it is. I like the much darker background a lot better. That almost gets kind of blurry. So, okay, well, there she is. Now she's finished. I definitely like the background blacker, so yay. Okay, now I'll say goodbye. It was fun. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you. I'll see you on the next video. Bye again.